Live from the Secretary of State Auditorium in beautiful downtown Sacramento, welcome to the quarterly IT all-staff meeting. And now, a guy whose Christmas list includes a Caltrans orange Snuggie, your CIO, George Akiyama.
Nicely done. Wow, that was very impressive. And like I prepped you guys before, longest applause for me, shortest applause for the DCs. But in any event, I want to thank you all for coming down. I know it's beautiful Sacramento, but it's kind of rainy and drizzly today, so I especially appreciate you folks who made the trip out to the SOS. I know it's inconvenient, but you know, I'm thankful, right? This is this time of year, the season where folks are thankful. I'm one of those folks. I'm really thankful for all of you. You know, for me, the quarterly IT all staffs are an opportunity for us to connect and inform. So we did get some Ask George questions earlier. I want to encourage you to keep doing that, right? So send in those emails for Ask George. For the folks here in the audience, we've got a couple of mics set up. So at the end, we'll have a Q&A session. You know, don't be bashful. I've got the division chiefs here to answer all the tough questions. So certainly bring it on to them. As I think about this time of year, we just got through Thanksgiving. You know, one of the things I often think about are friends and family. And when I think about friends and family, I think about our extended family. Certainly we've had a lot of folks, you know, a lot of great folks at Caltrans, but two of the folks that, you know, I remember that will always be part of the Caltrans family are Gene Suhu and Fred Gomez. Come on up, guys. Thanks, Fred. Hey, Gene, how are you doing, brother?
Thank you. Thank you.
Fred, always good to see you.
Hey, George.
I'm glad Are we doing this by height? No. We also invited Patty Neisinger, but Patty got sick. You know, there's a lot of that going around these days, so she wasn't able to make it. But I will give you a hint. There may be a guest appearance by Patty later on in the show, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. All right. But Gene, you know, for you, the thing that always impresses me about you, one of the things, I know you're thinking, wow, dude, you're impressive. CHP, how many years at CHP?
14, yep.
How many years at Caltrans?
12.
And then DMV, so you got the trifecta of transportation organizations. So, you know, 14, 12, well, you got another, are you really going to work another 10 or 12 or 14 years? Is that what we're looking at?
Never know.
You never know?
Yep.
All right, you know, DMV's in the news a lot. You know, I got to tell you, I've been in that environment. I've got nothing but respect for the DMV IT staff. I know it's a big staff, very complicated environment. They do a lot of transactional work. You know I do the online registration. I actually went through Real ID, and I got my Real ID. Thank you for not blocking me, Gene. I appreciate that. And, and that was actually a very smooth process. But, you know, outside of that, you know, what's going on at DMV? What are some of the things that are happening?
Yeah, we're making a lot of progress on the wait times. So
okay.
if any of you have been to DMV, the wait times have dropped dramatically in the past couple of months. We've done a lot of things to fix that. Some of the things we're implementing were tablets to triage the wait lines, to get people in faster, a new queuing system, you know, the number system that you see when you take your number. We've also implemented a paperless driver's license application. So first time,
really,
there's no more of that long sheet of paper where you get a new registration or renew, or if you lose your driver's license, all electronic now, along with the new motor voter program that we've implemented, where you have to opt out to vote. So that all kind of went in hand. So.
Well, one of my division chiefs is kind of a slow driver and maybe a little hazardous. So, Gene, maybe you and I could talk, you know, a little bit. Yeah. Especially if it's all electronic now, right?
That's right. So, that's right.
All right. I also heard something about like a paper license plate, a new paper license plate.
That's correct. Yeah. So when you buy a new car now, you used to get the dealer license. I mean, the placard that advertises the dealer. Starting January 1, we're implementing an actual number there. So dealers are required to supply that plate, a temporary license plate, basically, so people cannot drive through toll, you know, with their plates, and officers, law enforcement will have a number that they can refer to. So that's a new thing starting January 1 that we're implementing a new plate for brand new cars. So you should never ever see a dealer advertisement with a new car anymore. You'll see a temporary plate.
All right. Certainly a lot of stuff going on. I know you guys have a lot of legislative things that you've got to take care of every year. I know it's an extremely busy environment. So.
Correct. Yeah, a lot of the IT programs and things that we do are generated by legislation. Over 50% of the projects that we have with hard deadlines. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You haven't been there that long. It seems like you really got involved in the program area and the business.
Yeah, almost 1 year now. So
right.
it's been.
That makes me sad.
It's been challenging. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming back. I know you're a busy guy, as a CTO. I know you got a lot going on, so I appreciate you coming out and making time to spend with us today. You'll always be part of the family.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Fred, what's going on, brother?
How's it going, George? How's it going?
Good. So, you're not in transportation, so we gave you the stick, Mike. So I apologize.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
I see things haven't changed around here.
Well, you're a fast learner, Fred, so that's good. CIO, Chief Information Officer of CPUC. That's pretty impressive. I got to tell you,
George. Thank you.
And a lot of folks probably don't know how broad CPUC is. You guys are involved in a lot of things. I'm California Public Utilities Commission, so obviously utilities, PG&E, and so forth. But it's way more than that.
Oh, God, yeah. The CPUC, I've only been there a short stint. It's only been 3 months. But I'm learning quite a bit. Yeah, we regulate a lot of public utilities. Uber, Lyft, PG&E, SMUD. We're heavily involved in the fires right now, because we regulate all those utilities. So it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn. And right now I'm extremely busy learning the landscape, learning my team, learning what needs to be done, what needs to take place, what needs to happen there at CPUC. So, a lot of the work that I have to do that I'm looking forward to is driven by the commission and all the public utilities we regulate. So it keeps me extremely busy.
Certainly, it's a big job. And the other thing I would say, I talk to you guys as family and friends because you are, and the other thing these guys do is they continue to connect, right? So it's not as if you guys kind of went off and left the family. I know oftentimes we're exchanging email or getting together for a coffee or lunch, and I appreciate that continued relationship development. So thank you.
We really appreciate, some of the things we learned here at Caltrans. We've taken them forward with us, and we're applying them in our new places of employment. So
that's right.
I'm grateful for what I've learned while my tenure here.
So I kind of looked at you guys as Padawans. For the, I don't know if you guys are Trekkies, you guys are Star Wars. I'm on the Star Wars side. But so are the Padawans ready to take on the Jedi Master? Are you guys ready? All right, come on, let's go. All right, you guys both work for Mike.
Oh, Jedi Master, I guess luck was out today.
Hey, Jedi.
How's it going, Mike?
Yes, luck. Yeah, don't rub that in. I know she's out. We had to deal with Mike. So you guys both work for Mike, right? And actually, as we all do, we always have some kind of competition. And this was actually an idea from the last quarterly all staff. We talked to the folks after the all staff. And they said, George, one thing you guys should do is you should put up some questions, right, that are real or possibly fake questions that we received in our service desk ticketing system. So we're going to put a number of items up, and you guys simply have to say real or fake. Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. First question, and first question is kind of a doozy. My space bar happy hour, my space bar isn't working. So you guys kind of get the theme here. Would like some spaces so I can work. My space bar isn't working. Everything's all run together, right? My space, this was kind of a nice thing. Nathan, you're really enjoying this, man. I love that. My space bar isn't working. Would like some space so I can do my work. And that's not physical space. So what do you guys think? Real or fake?
John, did you submit this request?
John Sweet, is that you?
No, mine was working. I just messed up.
You really? All right. I'm glad you owned it, brother. All right. Real, fake. And the answer is real. Gee, you guys must have better equipment. This never comes up for you.
Space bar. Oh,
Space
wow.
bar. All right. All right, so you're right. That one was real. So I think 1-to-1 on Mike and Fred on the end. You guys ready for question 2? Are there any capital letters in my S number? Capital letters in my S number. So what do you guys think? Fake, fake. I love that you go against the grain, man. I love that. Dude, I love that. That's awesome. All right. And the answer was fake. Oh.
He had
Right.
real.
He had real?
He had real.
He had real?
You guys didn't work here, huh?
I see nothing's changed between you guys. All right, very good. 0 for 2, but I'm pulling.
That's
for you.
all right.
I'm pulling. Hey, I'll give you the answers. Here, there. No. All right. You guys ready for the third question? Third question is fake. No. The third question. Oh, which program do you use to create a Word document? Which program? Oh, Fred?
I'd like to phone a friend.
You want to phone a friend on that? You want to get the answer? All right. Oh, wow. For those who didn't hear it, Teresa, very funny. Do you have friends here?
No.
Only the ones on
Former-
stage.
Just
Only.
former co-workers.
All right. Very nice. So which program do you use to create a Word document? Real or fake? Fake. Well, you guys are hanging tight, man.
I'm pretty sure this was John Sweet's ticket.
Yeah, this one was John Sweet, right?
This one was John
Sweet.
Sweet's ticket.
John, you're getting a lot of mention. I don't know why, but that's all you get. All right. It was real. Which program do I use to create a Word document? So it was real. Here we go. You guys ready for the next question? Oh, this is along the same lines. And so the funny thing is a lot of these are so real, right? These are actual tickets that come into the help desk service desk. I forgot my email password. That's not the worst part, right? Please email me a new one. So I don't know, Carl, do we email passwords around? Is that okay? A lot of times I just put it on a Post-it, right? And I stick it up on my monitor. Is that Gucci? All right. I forgot my email password. Please email me a new one.
I know, that's real.
Oh, wow. Boom. Now you're going with the flow, Gene.
Oh,
All right.
I had to get one.
Dude, you did. You got one. All right, nice job, Gene. All right. Very good. So another one, right? And this kind of strikes a visual image to me. Please move my printer closer to my computer. Computer can't find the printer. I envision this computer running around trying to find a printer. Another thing I think is, we got the whole printer reduction thing. So why do we even have these printers laying around everywhere? All right.
Ron, did you do this one?
Yeah.
All right. Real, fake, real. Oh, man. So the questions our guys deal with, and I got to tell you, I thank everybody in the help desk service desk. They deal with a lot of questions, right? I think we're having fun with these, but they get a lot of doozies, and these are just some of them. All right. And the last one, this is for all the marbles, right? All the others were practice, all right? I would like to download the internet, the entire internet. It's coming from Al Gore, I think. So somebody wants to download. So this is a storage thing, man. You may have an edge here, Fred. I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
Come on. Do we have enough space for this stuff?
Not Google.
Oh, wow. All fake, right? All right. And the answer is fake. So, big round of applause for everybody up here. I got to tell you, in my mind, you guys are all winners. So, and I honestly mean that. I really appreciate you guys coming back to being on the show. All right. So that was a point in time where we do CIO updates. But again, I'm really plugging hard that Ask George email box. So certainly light up that box. Ron Clemens, as always, is doing a great job with the questions that come in. And I think we already had one come in previously. Ron, what was that question?
We have, George, and it's been submitted by District 1. And the
D1.
question is, could you please elaborate and explain what SB1 means for IT?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I'm sure we've all heard about SB1 because I know a lot of us have been working on SB1. And SB1 for me is that historic, right, transportation bill, $5.4 billion annually for 10 years, right? It helps us catch up on a lot of deferred maintenance that we've had on our highways. But it's not just the highways. Certainly, it's other transit, it's rail, right? It's bike improvements. It's really everything. And the other thing I think about it when I think about SB1 is all the great work that we do here. It doesn't happen without certainly all areas of IT. As an example, we're onboarding hundreds of folks, right? So when we onboard hundreds of folks, right, we need more desktops, right, more accounts and so forth. So I know the infrastructure is busy working on that. On the app side, there was a mapping application that was built under a very short time frame. There's also Rebuilding California website. Now there's intake systems for other organizations like CTC that were built. Additionally, we're now building some back-end reporting systems because now we've got to talk about all the great work that we did. So when I think about SB1, I do think about certainly the historic legislation that passed, but I also think about the great work that everybody is doing here. So thank you for that, and as always, thanks in the audience, the districts. You guys are right on the front lines of all this work. So SB1, $5.4 billion annually, 10 years, helps drive a more sustainable organization. Transportation knits communities together. I can't think of a more noble cause for us to work on. As it relates to IT, some things we're doing over the short haul, we're bringing in new systems. So when I say that, certainly we've got some service desk systems, right? Some service management systems that we've been looking at. We've got heat now, but we're looking at a heat replacement in an effort to try to make your jobs easier. We're also going to be bringing in some student workforce as well. That's in all the districts. Certainly that's here, in the Sac Metro area. And those are the two primary things we're doing over the short term. And the long term, we put in for BCPs. So we will continue to put in for BCPs. Unfortunately, in the first round, we didn't make the final cut on new positions for the existing BCP year, but, we continue to work with the budget office. So hopefully we'll be able to add staff in future years, right, for all this additional work that we're taking on. But keep up the great work, and we hope to get some longer-term relief.
Thank you, George.
Thanks, Ron. There are three things I want to talk about today. The first are the wildfires. Certainly, it's been a historic time as it relates to the wildfires. Not only the number of fires that we've had, but really look at the size of the fires that we had. 2 years ago, or a couple of years ago, you guys remember that winter we had, right? Where I think the highways and so forth had over $1 billion of damage and repair. So that was a historic winter. Now we've got all these fires, and there are announcements being made now by various PIOs around highway safety. Because with those fires, they cleared out a lot of vegetation, which means, there could be more mudslides and other natural disasters. So I do want to say, thanks again for all the work with the wildfires, but we shouldn't lose our focus, right? Because, those programs still need our support. Because as the work rolls in, those more mudslides, especially when we support operations like the EOC and so forth, we need to remain vigilant, right? We need to continue to provide the best support we can to our program areas. Second thing is hardware refresh. Last year IMD got out really fast out of the gate on the $12 million and really addressed our most critical issues on network storage and compute. This year we went for another BCP. We did get in the budget for this year, but we got a kicker from the Department of Finance, and that kicker was they want us to develop an application roadmap. So we've been going through the process of developing the statement of work, the RFP. We hope to get it out in a few weeks. And the Department of Finance is really interested in that application roadmap to really inform them what our infrastructure may look like. We've all heard about the cloud, right, and the impact of the cloud. So they want to know where we're heading with our major applications so that can help inform the discussion on our infrastructure. So we hope to get the procurement out here, a couple of weeks, maybe a month. And then we'll have a vendor on site to help us look at our applications and what our future for our applications will be. I'm optimistic. A lot of that work can get done, and then we can also, continue to have a shot at the $12 million that was actually improved in the budget subsequent to the application roadmap development. The last thing that may be on your minds is the administration change. We have a new elected governor, Governor Newsom, and I wish I had more news for you, but I don't. Certainly we know the administration is doing a lot of planning. Certainly they're asking a lot of questions. Each organization, including Caltrans, has developed a transition binder to help inform the new administration of the issues and priorities for the organization. I know it's on your minds. I will tell you, I have not heard anything official as it relates to the transportation agency or Caltrans, but I'm committed to sharing information as soon as we get it. It'll go through the DCs, right, to the supervisors and managers, and out to all you great folks. But I wanted to touch on it to let you know, I just don't have anything at this point. But as we get information, we'll always share it. Those are my 3 updates, and now we're going to slide into the updates from the various division chiefs. And first up this time is Carl Copper. Carl, come on up.
Hey, George.
Wow, man, that was louder than mine. I don't know.
I paid him.
All right. Well, okay, now I know how it works. Very good, Carl. You've been very good politically. You're doing all these nice things now. I appreciate that. So, and you've also been doing a great job moving the security and privacy program along. I mean, there's been a lot of growth and a lot of updates. Now, again, right, we're trying to engage the audience at home and the audience here, so keep thinking about those questions for the end of the session today. But I think Ron has a question to get you started.
Great.
Thanks, George.
Good morning, Carl.
Good morning.
This question comes from Sacramento. The security office recently implemented multi-factor authentication. Can you let us know how the rollout went and any plans to utilize it for additional services?
That's a great question. And actually, security office can't really take credit for rolling it out. A lot of the heavy lifting was actually done in the infrastructure management division. So I wanted to take the opportunity with this question to say a big thanks to everybody who helped us roll it out and to make it the big success that it is. So we've rolled it out to about 4,000 people now, and the heavy lift was around the YubiKey, which is the second factor. And my understanding is we still get about a call a day, a call a night from somebody who has a challenge getting it to work. So it's really great to make that change and to close that hole onto our network to now require something more than just an account and password to get direct access directly into our network. So thank you for that question. So for my updates today, I wanted to talk a little bit, we talked about the wildfires, and unfortunately, whenever there's a natural disaster, so the scammers come out, and the bad guys don't care that it's a time of tragedy, and they'll do real fish and social engineering attacks against people. So it's important to be vigilant, and every October we do our Cybersecurity Awareness Month activities. This year was no exception. We did a phishing campaign and cybersecurity awareness training. I sent out an email to the IT managers and soups yesterday with the detailed reports on our stats. We did a little better this year as an enterprise than last year. We went from 20% of the people clicked last year to down to 17%. But on the other side, after the people that clicked, when I asked, hey, can I just have your account and password? Just because I asked. Last year, 10% of the people did it. This year, we went down to 5%. So that's some good news there, some improvement. But we wanted to figure out how we could try to talk to those people who don't take the training and then fail the phishing exercise, right? What can we do to reach those people? So we tried to be innovative this year, and working with Ed and the PIO, put together a little video that 800 people got to see. I'm assuming no one did that in this room or out there in the internet land who's watching this right now. So hopefully this is the first time you've seen this video, and I hope you'll find it entertaining and informative.
Welcome to a very special Caltrans News Flash. I'm Thomas Lawrence, and this News Flash is for you. Yeah, you. That email link you just clicked, you could have sent your Caltrans account info to this guy.
5.
Ugh. Anyway, that didn't happen. What did happen is you forgot the most important rule of email security. When in doubt, don't click. Let's take a look at how you should deal with suspicious email. When you receive an email demanding immediate action, take a minute to examine it. Check the sender's email address to confirm who sent it. In this case, it's a strange address. Not good. Hover over the included link and examine the address. Remember, when in doubt, don't click. This one looks odd. And finally, never provide your login information to an email you weren't expecting. If you receive a suspicious email or one that you just aren't sure about, forward it to spam@dot.ca.gov After you forwarded it, delete it. Caltrans Information Security Office works diligently to protect us from online attacks and malicious emails, but they need your help to keep Caltrans safe from cyber criminals. Like that guy. So please stay alert when an email or a website asks you to reveal information about you or your account. Thanks for watching.
Fantastic acting in that video. I'd call that professional quality. We also had Nate had the idea of putting auto reply gold star if you followed the advice and sent your spam to fish to spam at dot. And you would be amazed at how many people got really excited about getting their gold star. It's like grade school or something. We did buy, with the funding we got last year, some web activity monitoring capabilities, a tool around our Security Information and Event Management, or SIM system. The tool you've heard me talk about a little bit is Exabeam, and it gives us really high fidelity, really good quality data on activity that people are doing. And there is an association between going to or attempting to go to nefarious sites that we try to block and risk to our network. So you will be more likely to bring down our entire enterprise with ransomware if you engage in that kind of behavior. So we're working with HR and others to see how we can get the reports into the hands of the supervisors to have that conversation with their staff when we are observing that behavior. We, in our research with Colorado Department of Transportation, uncovered a tool that would have stopped the ransomware at Colorado, and it's Gartner calls this category of tool an endpoint detection and response tool that would help us have the capability to block viruses that goes beyond signature-based malware detection. And we will be asking for your help if you're involved with desktop and desktop support in IMD to follow our standard practices for rolling out something like that to all of the endpoints, all of the desktops and servers, and basically do it as quickly as we possibly can to help close that hole that we've discovered. So a very powerful tool and very powerful capabilities coming in that area. And finally, the privacy program modernization, that was budget change proposal funding, BCP funding for this year, this fiscal year. And those, you've heard me talk about the tool capability, the technical side of this is around really two technical capabilities called endpoint detection, e-discovery and data loss prevention. So e-discovery tool capability lets you do kind of a Google search if you're a lawyer to go find those documents when you get deposed for discovery from the other side in a legal case. And we want to improve and make cost efficiency improvements in that area. And the rollout of these or the research for the requirements and tool selection is actively underway with the attorneys and those teams. So thank you for your support and appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks so much, Carl. I really appreciate that. I will tell you, you somehow find a way to make security, right? And certainly it's necessary. We all know that, right? But also fun and educational and very interesting. So thank you for finding the way. I do have a question, though. Who was the hacker in that video?
We hired a professional actor for that.
Okay, a professional actor. You know, he looks a lot like J. Hollywood Tinker. So, you know.
I've heard that.
I see that guy in the hallway all the time.
I've heard that, yeah.
But, you know, how did you select Jay? I thought I heard other people were really interested in that opportunity.
Well, you know, I did ask if I could be in the video, and I tried out and did my best, and Ed said I just didn't.
You didn't make the cut? Ed does
a
great job, certainly with the quarterly all staff. He produced and put together that short video as well. So you didn't make the cut?
Didn't make the cut. Yeah.
All right. Cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Ciso didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Hollywood made it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully I'll get a look at that video sometime.
Yeah, maybe future videos, maybe.
All right, I'll save it for future videos. Thanks, Carl. All right, next up, we've got an update from PBMD, and we have a very familiar face. It's not Luxu. It's actually Teresa Kim, although I get you guys confused all the time.
Yeah. I know. We look a lot alike.
You guys look a lot alike, you know? You know, I think I've seen you up here on the stage before. You make me feel short, too.
Tracy Scribner in a previous ADSD division chief fill-in role. Yes.
All right. Tracy Scribner, Luxu. Should the other division chiefs be scared? You're making the rounds. What do you think?
I don't know. Mike's got it pretty down. I don't know.
Does it get pretty down? All right.
They're safe, I think.
They're safe for now. Carl, don't forget Carl. Right? Who can affect?
No, he's an actor.
He's an actor? You can't take him. I know. Actor, author, he's the Renaissance man.
Yeah, I can't replace that.
Well, thanks for coming up again. I know you have a lot of fun on this show, too. I think last time you actually dabbed.
Do not go there.
Right, I saw a big dab last time you were here on Cash C. Dab, right?
Yeah, those were the days.
All right, those are the days. We can't get anything out of you? Okay. All right, I won't push you on that too much.
No.
But I think for you as well, we have a question to get things rolling. Ron?
All right, thanks.
Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning.
Great. The question also comes from Sacramento. And it is, I have seen a lot of communication recently about procurements and deadlines. What are all those about?
Thank you. Yes, we have been putting out communications. Roger Westrup is our chief in charge of the D20 IT acquisition group, and we just want to get everyone aware that the fiscal year ends in June, but procurements really need to be get going right away. We've got a lot of deadlines. Things have to get to DPAC. They have to go through our IT cert process. So there really isn't time to wait, and a lot of those deadlines are in November, December, January. So we want to make sure you're aware of those and work with your procurement people in your organization. If you're out in the districts, you can always contact D20 IT Acquisitions for help, or people locally. We're here to help you get your procurements going. So please, again, don't wait, but start to prepare those and talk to us if you have questions. So along the lines of other things going on in the PBMD group, I wanted to talk about one project and two of the business management side topics. So on projects, as George likes to say, projects are one of the ways that we can really move the organization forward. And this project that we worked on for IMMS is the Integrated Maintenance Management System. That's a system that has been around with Caltrans Maintenance Division since the year 2000, and it was really in desperate need of an upgrade. It was literally running Windows 2000 operating system, and it was using a Citrix install to present a desktop application to the users. It's district-wide. I know folks out in districts help people use that Citrix system, and so we're really happy to have an effort that got it upgraded to the latest version and web-based system. The project had been going on for 2 or 3 years, and there were a lot of people working on it. There were project managers before me, and there were people from all over the organization working on it. So we really want to thank you for all your efforts. There was a very cooperative group. We worked in close partnership with the business. The maintenance division has a large team that support IMMS. We embedded our IT people from ADSD with them to help work on the upgrade, and we've got support from our infrastructure division, great database and infrastructure support. We relied on the security team to help us with making sure the system was set up securely. Within project and business management division specifically, I want to call out we had BA group, we had, as I said, project managers, and SQM team led by David Sawyer, made a great contribution to getting this project going. We have ALM as our tool for tracking requirements. We used it for defect management, and we used its automated testing capabilities to build test scripts and do load testing and performance testing before we rolled it out. So I think the project literally started like 3 years ago. And over Veterans Day weekend, we deployed it. We had great support. I know people across the organization were asked to be on call to work in case we needed help over the weekend. And we had a lot of IT people actually working over the weekend. And thanks to George and Saeed, they visited us over that Veterans Day weekend, brought us food, and kept us going. And we went live on November 13th. So we're really proud of that accomplishment. And that application now is a platform for which we can expand the offering to the maintenance and traffic ops group. So thank you, everyone who was involved in that. So the second topic is now more on the business management side, training. So training is available. We have training dollars available. We have online training available. Caltrans, we want to be the employer of choice, and we have lynda.com available for everyone in Caltrans. If you look on OnRamp's homepage, there's a link over on the right for e-learning. So you can go there and see what kind of lynda.com classes may be appropriate for you, as well as check out the courses that the Learning Development Office offers for some of your required training. In addition to that, we know IT has specialized training needs. So if you have some job-required training that you want, you need to work with your supervisor to put together a training plan. We have training dollars, so the process will be you get that plan together, you submit it to your supervisor, it goes up to the division chiefs, and once approved, then you can go out and work with the IT training group to procure that training. We also have a lot of information available on the IT website about training. If you go to the website, the IT website /training, there'll be a whole slew of information on how you can get your training needs met. So we encourage you to work on that. Lastly, we want to talk about innovation. Innovation is a core component of Caltrans' mission and vision. And IT wants to be a part of that and look for our IT staff, for their great ideas to be more productive in our organization. So Kimberly Riley worked with George using a platform we have already set up for innovation to launch 2 campaigns recently. You may have heard about them. They're on our website. If you still go to the IT website, you can see the top. There's a link to those innovation campaign. We have 2 specific objectives we were targeting. One was to improve communication across IT, and the second was to improve onboarding and offboarding of employees. So we put that out to all of you, and thank you. We got great responses. We got 15 ideas generated on how to attack those 2 campaigns. So now the ideas were submitted. We got collaboration among people talking about the ideas, giving thumbs up, voting for them. We've taken that in, and we've got a peer team now reviewing those ideas, and you should be hearing shortly on what were the winning ideas and how we're going to proceed with accomplishing those goals. So thank you for your participation in making us innovative, and look for more campaigns in that area.
Thank you so much, Teresa. So next year, I'm going to have to put you forward on one of the other divisions, too. We're going to try to make all the rounds with you.
All right.
So let's talk. Let's work it out.
Okay.
The other thing I want to talk about innovation, certainly we had a logo contest as well, and we'll be releasing the winner. But I will say the winner came out of D2. Scott Anderson out of D2 won the logo contest, and also to tie in another D2 concept. This last time I was up there, and we were talking about training. One of the folks, Ruth, I think up in D2, she took training at a local JC, and she found that very rewarding. So, really think out of the box, right? Think about training resources, whether it's Lynda and so forth. Think about the job required classes. Most importantly, work with your supervisor to get the training resources that you need. All right, next up is ADSD, and we've got Saeed Bakshi. Come on up, Saeed.
Thank you.
Welcome. You just came back into town, right? You were kind of a road warrior.
Yes.
The last couple of days. Where did you go earlier?
Yeah, we, as you know, George, we started the Reach Out program to all districts and program areas. So we wrapped up our trips to Southern California, District 7, 11, 12. So I just arrived last night.
Well, thanks for coming. I know we do a dry run the night before, so I appreciate you flew in and you just hit the dry run on time.
That was great.
But like the others, I don't want to leave you off the opportunity to answer a question. And again, right, hit the Ask George email box and think of your questions if you're here in the audience. Ron, do we have a question for Saeed?
We do, George. Good morning, Saeed.
Good morning, Ron.
So this question also comes from Sacramento. And the question is, IMMS was recently upgraded, and I was wondering if there are any other applications in the queue for upgrade.
That's a perfect question. As Teresa mentioned a few minutes ago, with the success of deployment of IMMS, yes, there is another system in the queue, and thanks to our program area and IT working very closely with them, and there's a great collaborations, and Teresa touched bases on that. So the next system is SVS. It's one of those legacy, and services and supply system. One of our legacy system is going to be on queue. Next one, which the project is going to start shortly, probably January 1st or 2nd. The other one is a encroachment permit system. That's another legacy system. Is underlined right after the SVS. We're going to go replace that system too. With that, let me give you a little bit of update about what's going on in ADST. I want to talk to you about ADA updates. As all you know, our public face websites is not in compliance, and plus the technology is extremely old. So what we have done so far to reach out to all districts and program areas and take our message on projects and discuss with them. The good news is we are very excited. And I want to thank you all IT staff, our vendor partners, and program areas from every places that they are so excited they're collaborating and working on this project. Thank you so much. It was great. And I am sure after success in IMMS, ADA project is going to be another success story. And when you wake up July 1st, 2019 and start drinking your coffee, you're going to see a new home for Caltrans, which is within modern technology and, of course, in compliance with the ADA. What we have done so far, we pretty much wrapping up our reach out efforts with all districts and divisions and program areas in next 2 weeks. And we already established our working groups, and these working groups is included all representatives from program areas, division, districts, and we are so excited. They are dedicating a lot of resources to this project. 2 or 3 people, they are really ready to go on. And we also started our training program. And the first trend is already in process, and we're going to provide more training to our work group people to know about the prioritizations and how to remediate those documents that we have today in our public face websites. And working groups kickoff meeting on December 7 is very close. And the other successes, we are be able to create our steering committees, and they're going to also meet the first meeting in a couple of weeks. And the other good news I have to like to share with you is, today we don't have any system how to manage our documents, especially facing a public face website. And the good news is we're going to get a web content management systems. And with the latest technology, top of the line technology that we're going to develop our new home, and it's going to give us a lot of capability and mobility, and also not just for resolving our problem today, it's also the future. It's a great technology, and we're going to go with Sitecore, and we are excited. It's already started the design and discussion about this new design format that we're going to have it. The other topics I would like to touch base is on .NET development. We all know .NET is always in our standard, in our list. And the major applications like the core application like IMMS or even new system, which is we're going to replace with SVS, is going to be a .NET platform. So we created a unit, a group of people that are going to be .NET developers. And we are excited about it, and we have a Java developers team and also a .NET team to be able to develop a new solution for our business folks. And we are excited for that. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Sarah. I appreciate the update. I've got a couple of questions for you, though. Are you ready?
Yes.
So you saw Carl's video. Hopefully here you didn't see it because you fell for his phishing campaign.
Yes, I tried to talk to him, but he's very excited to join this acting business, I believe.
Oh, so that's his, you think that's his next career?
I think so.
Did you lobby Carl? Did you try to get into that?
I tried, but he didn't accept me.
All right. We'll have to work on that. You and I will work on him on the side. I will say, thanks for the updates also on SVS and some of the new systems that are coming online, or actually, I would say more upgrades to systems. Certainly, we've got TAMS and TSNR and a lot of other efforts, right, that are moving. Those are kind of greenfield starts. They're not necessarily version upgrades, but certainly they'll be moving the organization forward.
Absolutely.
Well, so thank you, Said. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You bet. All right, last but not least, you saw him earlier and as one of the winners. So the Jedi Master himself, Mike Quinn. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great.
All right, fantastic. You know, a lot of times we dress in the same clothes. I'm glad we've got a little differentiation. Although the time, okay, that we're
close enough.
We're close enough, yeah. Right? Very good. So I appreciate not dressing alike this time. You know, I'm going to start with a video question for you.
All right.
Carl's video.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Can we get you on the hook for that? You think next time?
You know, I really tried, but Carl basically did a better job, so I got to basically go get some, take some notes from him.
All right.
How can I do a better job next time?
All right. Well, I'm sure I'll have some feedback for you, as I always do, Mike. So you can.
And I appreciate it.
All right. Questions from Ask George. So certainly send those in. Ron, do we have anything for Mike?
You bet we do, George. So, Mike, the question is, I understand that IT leadership has a goal to become the employer of choice in state service. What steps are being taken and or planned to accomplish this goal?
Wow. That's a great question. I can go all day long.
We only have an hour, Mike.
All right, George. All right. Thanks for putting me back on track. Well, Caltrans, what are we doing to basically be the destination employer? That's a great question. Simply, we do cool projects, and we allow our staff to be all they can be, right? We have great leadership, and we invest time in people, training, development, coaching, and mentoring, and we produce leaders like Fred and Gene, whereby they have, been promoted into key leadership positions to really manage excellent, large, complex programs for the state. That's what it's all about, right? To me, as a technologist, if we have the money and we have the ability to allow our staff to do cool things to support the mission of this department and advance the programs, that's what that's all about, right? We have a great mission. It's about safety. It's about, a sustainable, integrated, efficient transportation management system that enables our state to move forward in terms of the economy and how we live, right? Moving traffic from A to B. So we have a great mission, and I believe that, George and I and the leadership team and all the staff are here just for that. We got a cool mission. So we hope to continue to produce leaders going forward, and the key to this is allowing staff to be all they can be.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thank you. All right, I'm here to give a quick update on several work efforts that our staff in IMD have been working tirelessly over the last several months to really standardize and modernize and simplify our ecosystem. As you know, we have what is called the Mobile Device Management System that we recently introduced, and it's AirWatch. So we have the old one that's called Afaria. We now have AirWatch, and Russ and his team have been wonderful in standing that system up. But we had 5,600 mobile devices in the old system, Afaria. So over the last several months, we had to work tirelessly, relying on our agency telecom representatives throughout the state and the districts and in Sacramento to really touch every single of those mobile devices and move them from the old MDM to the new MDM. So that effort has been completed, and I am very thankful for our ability to get us into a newer, more advanced platform that we can enable employees in the programs to really use their tablets and smartphones to do work more efficiently out on the job, at the job sites instead of being in the office. Secondly, we have been working on upgrading our user productive software, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. The Office Suite, we've been running on an older version, and our staff, desktop support, deployment staff, they have been working to get the Office Suite upgraded to 2016. And we recently came to a successful completion of that, whereby we have touched more than 23,000 endpoint devices, and those include desktop, laptops, and tablets, and so on. Lastly, Windows 10, it is not a project, it is a work in progress. It is a maintenance and operations initiative. As we as our devices, endpoint devices, reach end of life, we have accepted or adopted a practice whereby we are adopting the latest operating system. You know, in the past, we just keep on introducing new equipment, but keep the old operating system. But we recently broke away from that, and as we are trying to modernize, we're adopting the Windows 10 Windows operating system, and we're doing excellent in that arena. We have 23,000 or more so devices in the ecosystem. And Nathan gave me a report last night that we have more than 10,000 devices that have been upgraded to Windows 10. So we are well on our way to standardize on that operating platform. And we don't have to treat it as a project when it comes to 2020, when Microsoft stops supporting that platform. So I just want to shout out to all of my staff in IMD, in the district, desktop support, deployment, staff, and their managers and supervisors for doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you,
Certainly
George.
a lot of things going on in IMD, as always.
Yes.
So this is a section where we take the Q&A. So, Ron, I was wondering, do we have any questions? I'll invite the division chiefs up. We'll actually move more towards the center. Do we have anything from the Ask George?
You bet. You bet. And Mike, since you're queued up already, let's start with you. The first question is, can you talk about how we are partnering with traffic operations?
Absolutely. So recently we worked with Traffic Ops and one of the TMCs to consolidate the computer room, and that was happening in District 3. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony whereby George attended with Amajit, the host, district director, as well as Jesse Buller. And we basically took the TMC computer room and the IT enterprise computer room, and we merged them together so that we can be more efficient in how we go forward in collaborating and operating that functional area to provide greater services to the department.
Great, thanks. And one more question. Are we planning to upgrade to Office 2019?
That's an excellent question. The way that I like to handle new technology is, let's not be the guinea pigs, of Microsoft's new technology. That is a new version. We just recently got done with the Office 2016 rollout. So what we want to do is allow time for, the product to gain maturity, all the bugs and hot fixes to be applied at least for a year or two before we can start making plans now to basically deploy that, a couple of years out.
Great, thanks. That completes the questions for you, Mike. Carl, you're up next. What is the plan for security improvement in the TMC and on the TOSnet?
So the TOSnet, the Traffic Operations Systems Network, if you're not familiar with that acronym, so similar to what Mike was just saying about engagement with the program area on the traffic side, I've been working with Jesse Buller in traffic operations and his team and development of an RFP to go out on the street to bring in a contractor to help us work with making those security improvements. So examples of this are not necessarily consistent configurations across all of the districts for how the field elements talk back to headquarters. Something like 26 different methods for the devices to phone home or communicate home. And all kinds of various levels, age and patch levels and default configurations out there for field elements. So, in cybersecurity right now, you may have heard the term botnet. And that's where somebody goes in and takes ownership of a device, and then they can make it do what they want it to do, but they do it at scale. So how many traffic cameras at Caltrans have had their default account and password reset to something different and unique for every camera, every device, right? I think it's fair to say that we have not necessarily built a system, a process, and a procedure enterprise-wide across all those field elements for how we manage those devices and for how they talk on the wire, what they do to communicate back to headquarters. We talk about network access controls when we talk about Cisco and other vendors play in that space. An example I like to use for behavior analytics is why is that sprinkler, and we have sprinklers with IP addresses, right? Why is that sprinkler talking to the accounting system, right? If the sprinkler's talking to the accounting system, shouldn't some automated system that sees that behavior on our network, on the wire, shut that down? Well, that's a capability that exists in the marketplace. We can go buy that capability. How do we deploy it? Where do we put the sensors? How can we do it across 800 field locations and 12 different configurations across 12 different districts? I don't think that's an easy problem to solve. So we're talking about bringing on a contractor and scoping it properly so that they can come in and help us solve that problem.
Great. Thank you, Carl. That concludes the questions that
All right.
we received.
Thank you, Ron. Are there any questions from the audience? Any brave souls? Come on. Bill, we've got, of course, Bill. We actually have a microphone for you, so I'm going to make... Does it come here? No, I'm sorry, you got to come up. We're not entirely full service here. This is a little self-serve. But I knew I can always count on you for questions, so thank you.
Well, this is one of the first that I've been able to attend in person, so...
oh, very good. Well, thanks for coming. And you look a little different. You got the little mustache
November,
going.
until tomorrow.
All right.
So we heard a lot from Saeed around the different platforms, the .NET, the new group for .NET, Java, Microsoft Dynamics, I know SimplyGov, ThinkSmart. If we're working with customers or projects like TAMS and looking at bringing in technology, what are we to think as to which technology we should go with or indicate to our vendors as preferred? Is there an approach or a preference that you have, or how do we determine that?
That's a great question. Let me tell you that right now in ADSC we have a new position we call Application Architecture Unit. Their job is pretty much when we get an intake or a project comes in, looking at the project and come up with a strategy, what's the best fit technology for that project is. So it's not going to be default or whatever we have, let's develop in that technology. We're going to look at it from architectural perspective, look at this, do we have this kind of functionality or similar application already? Why we have to reinvent the wheel again? And what's the best technology for that? So with whatever those technology we have in-house, it will give us a good flexibility so we can give a good solution to our customers.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. All right. Bill broke the ice. Anyone up? No? Oh, Bev.
I'm Beverly. I'm at the Information Security Office. Mike, can you tell us a little bit more about ATP?
Sure. ATP stands for Advanced Threat Protection. So that is a Microsoft service that is within the Office 365 environment. ATP is about safe link and safe dock, meaning that if you hover over the link for an email that you receive, if it is bad, it's going to basically inform you, right? And if you have a dock that has some threats attached to it, it's going to basically prevent you from, getting into trouble. So what we are with that right now is we'll roll it out to the IT community. We're going to pilot that for the next 30 days. And if everything is cool and we don't have any challenges, that come up between now and then, we're going to roll that out to the enterprise.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Mike. So rolling out to IT, that's our standard practice, right?
My boss would call it, let's sip the champagne before we dole it out to our customers.
Absolutely. So it's always good for us to try things first, and that way we can contain it. We can kind of work all the bugs out before we get to the program area. So thank you for following our standard patterns. All right. Oh, Paul, come on up. Oh, yeah, that's right, Paul. I'm going to make you walk all the way down here. You've been up on the show. You know how this works.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right. You can put me or these guys?
Well, whoever
Whoever wants, maybe all of you.
All right, I like it. All right, let's go for it, Paul.
So what do you think we can do to better partner with our business program areas across the board, every organization up there?
Wow, fantastic. So, I'm actually, I don't know if PBMD wants to take this from an intake perspective or, actually, the partnership's happening in all areas. Let me start. I'll borrow you guys a couple of seconds, right, to figure out what you want to say as we go down the chain. That is critical. Certainly the partnership, IT exists for the program areas, right? We don't exist for IT in and of itself. So, what I look is take every opportunity, right, to help inform and educate and partner with our various program areas. I get a lot of requests, as you might imagine, from the various deputies and the district directors. And I look at all of those as great opportunities to demonstrate what we can do. I look at the SB1 mapping, right, that I know you were involved with. I talked about that earlier as it relates to SB1. We had a very short deadline, right, and that was a deadline from CalSTA. Yet we were able to pull that together and make that happen, right? I look at the Sweet 16 list in the PMO. We did the call letter to the enterprise, essentially, and we came up with one list of higher priority projects of which we keep moving down the chain on. CTC, right? It goes on and on. Certainly our colleagues from DMV. I actually have a partnership going on with CPUC. There's a meeting later today to talk about some broadband initiatives. But being open to that dialogue, being open, right, culturally, kind of that's where I'm trying to head, is looking for those things, right? Looking for the opportunity to help. They're so thrilled, right, when we can come to the table and we can provide those opportunities. And I'm thrilled, too, because I like working on the new stuff, right, the fun stuff. I think we're all IT professionals, right? That's kind of what gets us going. That's not to say the old stuff doesn't matter, because certainly, it's important. That's why we're here. Bread and butter applications, like the contract management system, I think about $250 million goes through that mainframe system every month. That's all important too, right? But just engaging, finding out what their needs are, and really consulting. I'm going to quote something from Luck, since PBMD quoted me earlier. Luck always says, we don't want to be waiters and waitresses, right? We don't want to just take orders, right? We want to consult, which means we also want to advise. We want to help them pick the right technologies for the right use cases. And hopefully I've bought enough time for these guys.
Yeah.
All right. So just real quick, what do you guys think? What's the best way, or how can we engage?
So for me, it's about the outreach program, just like George said, be engaged, visit the districts, sit down with the division chiefs, seek to understand their problems and their pain points, and really undercommit and over-deliver.
I would say everything that he just said, plus try to find out our common interests. So when it comes to security, I'd like to not just talk about the Office of No, but what are our common interests? So with traffic operations, they have an interest in their inventory and knowing what's on their wire. We do too in security. So where can we find those common touch points?
And project management, customer relations unit, that's where all these intakes, we want them to start. So John is new, Luck is new as well, but they're really beefing up that part of the organization. And, I've heard her say we've got to make commitments to our customers to really give the people from IT that are needed on the projects. So we're not going to just sort of say we have a BA, but we're really going to keep BAs engaged throughout the life of the project and not just write requirements and move on. So.
Okay. I would like to add just one point besides what was said. It's working with our partners. One of the things that's very important is education. We have to, from IT perspective, when we reach out to our partners from division level or management level, to let them know about what's the technology they are engaging into it. They really understand those things. And I think that's going to create a good binding, good relationship. And I had a good experience so far when I'm talking about, don't ever put your investment in a sunset technology. Let's talk about modernizing how we can provide a good solution. I think they can trust IT, and our first job is make sure that update them, be in continuous communication with them. That's what happens.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Teacher, come on down. Oh. Sorry, I was looking up high first.
There's 2 microphones.
Oh yeah, there's another microphone on that side too. If you want to get ready.
Good morning. all
Good
of
morning.
you. I have a question for George specifically because
Okay.
something when you addressed Paul, you said your top priority, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know when you go to your peer group
Yep.
with the deputies from an IT perspective, what are some of the topics that you update them on? And I'm curious to know whether it is part of what was already shared here, or is there anything in addition to that you would are happy to share with us?
Thank you. Great question. So what are the top priorities as I engage my colleagues? I got to tell you, it kind of differs from deputy to deputy. You know, sometimes like Steve is very focused on the Mado suite of applications I know Edith and Teresa are working on. You know, when I talk to Carla, she talks a lot about end user compute, right, and kind of beefing up those you know, what we're doing with iPads and other documents and other tools. I'm sorry, we're getting some... All right. We all need a little help. Sure, Jay Hollywood Tinker is helping us put us in the best light here. So I would say deputy to deputy, you know, it changes. In your particular area, I think there's a lot of excitement around some of the new tools that we're bringing on. Chris Rojas has talked about updating the HR, you know, suite of applications. So it's in the application space. You know, for Mike and Jesse Bueller, it's all about the hardware and the TMCs. At the Lori Berman and Ryan Chamberlain level, you know, a lot of discussion with Carl. Carl meets with Ryan on a monthly basis just to talk about cybersecurity. We meet with Lori on a quarterly basis. Carl's also going to have more involvement with CalSTA because that is a huge deal. Certainly on the project side, you know, the projects affect every organization. So Poor Luck gets hit all the time, right, with whether it's the COS group, right, or the maintenance group on applications that can get started. And all that kind of starts the ball rolling towards you, right, and all the work that we're doing in your area.
Thank you.
So thank you. Radhika, come on up, or actually, come to the mic, I guess. It's open mic night, so any joke you got, no.
So I think this question is for Mike. So any future plans in the pipeline to bring in Skype, especially for scheduling meetings?
The short answer is yes. It's already here. We just haven't opened up the floodgate, you know, for everyone due to capacity challenges that we have on our existing infrastructure. But John and his team are working tirelessly with the telco companies to upgrade all of our backbone network circuits. Most of them going from less than a gig up to a gig from the district office to our backbone, and then upgrading our backbone from 1 gig to 10 gigs. So right now, Skype is available on a case-by-case basis. However, we hope to open it up, you know, a little bit more after January when all of these key circuits are in place.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Great question. Now I've got a question for you all. You know, at the end of the show, we always ask, what's the next venue? So we're going to put a venue up on the screen. I want to get your guys' thought. What is the next stop? Where is that? Well, who called it Stockton? Nicely done. Aaron, you said Stockton too? Wow, nailed it. It is Stockton. So our next stop is beautiful downtown Stockton, just a short drive from Sacramento. So we're looking forward to meeting with them. Dennis Agar runs a fantastic district. And that'll be our next stop. So I want to thank the Division Chief crew, special guests, you know, Fred, Gene, Patty Nicelonger, who couldn't make it today. You know, they're not afraid to have a little fun at their own expense and entertain you and make this memorable. John Wood, who you haven't met yet, he was in the video. You'll see more of him in future sessions. He's our PMO chief. But thank you all for attending our last quarterly IT All-Staff meeting. I want you to have a very safe, right, very joyful holiday season. You know, spend that time on the important folks in your life, you know, your friends and your family. Thank you for joining us.